Kareena and I'm one of the student engagement interns and I'm also the Instagram manager. So make sure you follow us on Leeds FBS Student Life. Little plug there. So a little bit about me is that I'm going into my third year of medical sciences, which is in the School of Biomedical Sciences, and I'm also the school rep for that school. So, you know, I'm really involved in the faculty. Yeah, so why medical sciences and why the University of Leeds? So the uni, it was hard trying to pick which uni I wanted to go to. My dad drove me to, I think it was about 10 different universities, like across the country, bless him. Like, he didn't have to do that, and I know most parents wouldn't take their kids to like 10 different unis, but he did, so bless him for that. But it was because I was able to see all the unis. I really got an understanding of what I wanted, and Leeds was the university that had everything I did want. You know, it wasn't like with other unis I'd sort of been like, oh yeah, I love this, this and this, but that part, not really feeling it. Like, I didn't have that with Leeds. Everything just sort of fit. Also, it was because there's that thing where when you go to the right university for you, you just have this feeling of like, yep, this is the one. And I had that at Leeds, so obviously it was going to be my first choice on my UCAS application form. Another reason for the University of Leeds was because of their Access to Leeds scheme. So on this scheme, it means that with some like criteria, if you meet the criteria, they will drop your entry grade requirements, which they did do for me. But like, and I didn't need to use it in the end, but it was just really nice knowing that I had that there. So yeah, I really appreciated that from Leeds as well. Medical sciences, like, if I'm being completely honest, I flip-flopped between English Lit and medical sciences or biomed for most of my, like, when I went to go see for open days and stuff, which is a bit mad because those are such like polar opposites to me. But yeah, I really did go between the two, but I think my heart was always in biomed, but I think I was always worried that I wasn't good enough or I couldn't do it. But I can do it, turns out. So yeah, I picked biomed anyway, and I'm really, really happy with my choice because I've always been really interested in the human body. Like, I'd watch like human body documentaries like just for fun, and I still do. So yeah, I find it really, really interesting. And also I loved the modules that Leeds offered for biomed. Like, it was the kind of, well, medical sciences, it was like the modules that, you know, they suited me and what I was interested in. Yeah, and everything just sort of fit together and worked. So that's how I've ended up on this course at the Uni of Leeds. So my experience of like being at uni and probably the advice I'd give, I'm gonna put together. So I hated first year, like I hated it. I remember saying that it was in second year I was like at this like event thing that we did for the School of Biomed, and one of the lecturers overheard me and was like, what do you mean you hated it? How could you have hated it? And I was like, nah, no one understands, like, I hated it. So I didn't like first year for a number of reasons. Like, I don't really know where to start either. I think first I'll start with my flatmates. I was never like friends with my flatmates. We were acquaintances, but for one reason or another, we weren't close. And they were all close, but like I wasn't close with them. So that threw me off a bit to begin with. Like, freshers week, there was just like a number of things that happened where it just meant that we sort of grew further and further apart. But I was seeing everyone else get on really well with their flatmates, so I was just so confused, and I was like, well, what's happened here? Like, this isn't normal. But turns out that's actually quite normal, and the majority of people don't end up being, you know, best buddies with their flatmates. And that's just the way it is. It did panic me about housing, but honestly, don't worry. Like, I love my housemate now, and I didn't end up actually like signing to live there until March, so it's fine, don't worry. Yeah, I think because of the fact I wasn't like best friends with my flatmates, it meant that I had to go and make friends with my course mates, and it really made me like put myself out there. and that's probably my biggest piece of advice, is to just say yes. So my flatmates, like, not my flatmates, my course mates, who are like my best friends, they love techno, like love it. I don't. I love R&B and like rap, that kind of stuff. So if you like that, I'd recommend Backroom. I love Backroom. Me and my house, we love Backroom. So yeah, they go to techno stuff a lot in first year, and I don't like it, and I knew I didn't like it. But I still went anyway, just because I knew that I had to try and make friends, and I'm not gonna make friends if I say no. I didn't end up enjoying everything. Like, it turns out I don't actually hate techno. Like, I don't like it, but I didn't hate it. But because of that, it meant I got closer to my friends, and obviously now they're like my friendship group. So if I'd said no to it, I wouldn't have friends. So just say yes, even if you think you wouldn't like it. Just put yourself out there. I know that this year it's going to be hard to make friends because you're not seeing them in person. So just make sure you speak up where you can, you know, get involved in things. Like, there's the interns, we're going to be putting on activities. And you might be thinking like, oh, sounds a bit lame, because not gonna lie, I know that that's what people think, but just try it. You never know what's going to happen, and it's better to just put yourself out there and be like, oh, wasn't worth it, than to have not tried at all and to have no friends. Like, do you know what I mean? You might as well just try. That's what I'd say. It's like, just put yourself out there. You just never know what's going to happen. Another piece of advice I would give is to be organised. So this is my diary. Well, it's my planner. I got it from Typo and I love it. I have, I think, 3 different calendars, or like planners and stuff, which is a bit excessive, I know, but there's just so much going on at university that you really need to have it all written down or typed in, whatever you want to do. So yeah, I'd really recommend being organised like that. And I think because I'd say I was relatively organised. I don't think that was one of my downfalls of first year, but I think that's probably one of the things that actually saved me. So make sure you're organised. Another thing with, like, which was the reason why I didn't like first year, was because of my grades. It was kind of all just like a mess in one. I think one of my issues was that I tried to write notes. Just don't bother doing that. I started using my laptop and it made everything so much easier. So I go to the PowerPoint slides before the lecture and I copy and paste all the slides onto a Word document. I then go to the lecture so I can actually like listen to what the lecturer is saying, because I'm not trying to like write notes down really quickly. But I can just like slot things in if they say something that wasn't on the slides, so that makes it easier. And then afterwards I'll go over the lecture again, but I normally like speed up the lecture because I've already got the notes down, so like it's just quicker for me to like listen to it. And then I'll add anything I didn't understand in, and then I'll go to Quizlet and I'll make cue cards or like flashcards. Yeah, just thought I'd say that's what I use Quizlet. You can use whatever you want. I know other people use other platforms, but I like Quizlet, so that's what I'd say. Like, I think I got really stressed because I was trying to write my notes, and I think that didn't help. Another thing is assessments. I don't like multiple choice questions. I am absolutely dreadful at them. I don't know what it is. Like, I know the information, but trying to pick out of these questions is just like, it's a mess for me. So yeah, my grades were not what I expected them to be in first year, and I was like, obviously I was upset because I just didn't understand like what was happening. And then second year came around, and like we did have coursework. I did notice that I was doing unbelievably better in coursework than I was in my exams, and that definitely like pulled up my grades a bit. And then second year came around and we had more coursework, and I noticed that my grades were better now that the coursework was weighted a bit more. So I've gone ahead, and third year I've picked ones that are more like essays or coursework based. So don't worry, like if you don't necessarily do well, either because, you know, like it's a different way of being assessed compared to A levels, or just because you're better at coursework, it's okay. Don't worry, like first year doesn't count for a reason, and you will be okay. I promise you, you will be okay. I think that's what I really needed someone to tell me, was like they'd gone through what I'd gone through, and that they were okay. Like it was okay, it was fine. So don't worry. Yeah, and honestly I think that's all of my things that I would do differently. Oh no, that's another thing, is maybe I wouldn't do differently, but like, I just want you to know it's okay to feel homesick. A lot of people end up feeling homesick and you're not alone in it. They might not talk about it, but it's really, really common. Like my younger cousin, she's about to look at open days and stuff to go to uni, and I keep telling her, like, just make sure whether you pick at uni, like, you're okay with the fact that you're gonna have to travel home, because everyone travels home to see their parents or their family. Like, it just does happen. So many people get homesick, whether you're like, oh no, I'm not gonna be homesick, like what, or you know you will be. It doesn't matter where you are on that spectrum, you will end up being homesick, and it's just the way it is. So like, don't worry, like it's a pretty normal thing, but as long as you're prepared for it and you know that's gonna happen, then it's fine. Like, honestly, it's fine. Like, everyone feels like that. Like, I message my parents so often nowadays. I'm like constantly updating them on what I'm doing, even though when I lived with them, obviously I wouldn't have done that because I'd have seen them like in person. But yeah, I'm constantly messaging them. I feel bad for them actually. So yeah, I think that's all of my advice that I'd give you. Second year I absolutely loved, and I was so sad that it was cut short. But yeah, I really, really, really loved second year. I couldn't, like, it was just such different years between first and second year, and I think that's because I took on the advice I've just given. So yeah, I mean, I will also say, like, for those people who think about dropping out in first term, I was one of those people, like, and I just want to say it does get better, like, because I love second year and I'm really sad that I'm leaving uni next year. It actually does make me really, really sad. But yeah, I just want you to know, like, it will be okay and you will end up loving uni. Actually, like, it was because I spoke to my disability mentor, which is like in the disability services. Like, you can, if you apply for DSA, which if you search up you know more about it, you can apply for that, which is, you can use them for, like, if you've got like any mental health issues or like physical disabilities, anything in between, you can apply for that. But if you're not eligible for that, or like if you do have some mental health issues, go to the student support services in the faculty, because they will be more than happy to help you. Just tell them how you're feeling and you can talk about what's going on. And honestly, I think that was such a big, like, factor in me staying, was talking to my mentor. And like, yeah, I'm just really, really grateful for her, because that's why I'm here today. And like I said, I love uni now, so don't worry, like, it will be okay, even if you're not having the experience that you see everyone on Snapchat or whatever, like, having, like, don't forget that social media isn't necessarily real life. So just, yeah, don't judge the way that you're experiencing uni compared to everyone else, because it's like everyone's experience is different, and no one's going to show when they're sat in their room feeling crap. So yeah, I think that's all my advice that I have. So good luck, and I hope you really enjoy the rest of your time at uni. So bye.